In this lesson, we're going to be looking at how to write our own patches. A patch is the way that the community gives something back. So if you have fixed a problem, or if you're trying to provide a new feature and you've fixed that yourself, written all of the code up, or improved that documentation that's in the code, the way that you contribute that back to the community is through a patch. So what we'll be doing is looking at how to use Git in order to create that patch and then upload that to a Drupal.org issue so that the community can help us with it.
So starting on the DrupalLadder.org website, going to the Drupal ladder tab for the main Drupal ladder, we're going to be doing the lesson that's called Write a Patch. And once we get in here, the first thing that we want to do, as usual, is look at our prerequisites that we have. This lesson also uses the same sandbox version of Drupal 8 that we've used in previous lessons, so you should have that set up. You'll need to have Git. We'll also be working with the issue we created in the Getting Started in the Issue Queue lesson. And then you'll also want a way to be able to capture a screenshot, because we want to take a picture of the work that we've done when we upload it to our issue. And so we're going to get into the steps themselves. We're going to start off by creating a branch for us to work in, then making our edits, and then creating the patch. So first, let's go ahead and actually go to the Drupal Sandbox. So that's my main code base that I'm going to work from. And I'll do a quick git branch just to make sure that I know which branch I'm on, which is 8.x, which is correct. And so now we want to create our own working branch. And best practices would say that I name that in a meaningful way. So I'm going to my issue that I created in the sandbox, right? So this is my issue from earlier. And I'm going to grab the node ID, or the issue ID number, out of the URL. And I'm going to use that for my branch name. So git branch, and then if you type in a name of something, it's going to create a branch. So I'm going to put in the issue ID number and then a description of it, so that when I'm looking at it, if I have multiple branches, I know which branch has which work in it. And now that I have created the branch, I need to actually be in that branch. I'm still in my 8.x branch code base. So I'm going to check out. I have a shortcut for CO. You should type the full word checkout there, and then the branch name. And then when I do a git branch, we'll see that the asterisk is next to that one. So I'm currently in my working branch and not in the main 8.x branch. So I can go nuts, and I'm not actually changing the core stuff. So we've done that first set. The next thing is to actually make our changes. So we need to go in and do the changes we want to create, to create the patch, and then get the patch code into our branch. So within this branch, you can open up any text editor you want, any way you want. You can do it from the command line, like I use TextMate. I could do this from the command line like that. Or I can just use Explorer or Finder and go and just open up. But basically, this is where you just work on files the way that you're used to working on files in whatever editor you want. So the path.module is the file that we need to make this change in. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up in my editor. And I need to go to line 139, I believe, or you could search through here for the text. So this is the description text on that form field, and that's what we want to change. Let me come back here, and I'm just going to copy and paste this text, the correct text that we want to use here. I'll go ahead, paste that in. Voila. Save it. Double check, make sure that I'm not doing any weird parse errors by doing that. Okay. Now that I have the actual change in the code, what I need to do is go back and check it and see. So I'm going to go into my sandbox site and go add some content and just add an article. It doesn't matter what content we're adding here. I just want to go to where the bug was and where the fix is. So this is the fix. This is the correct text that I've just added. So that looks fine, and it doesn't look like it's messing anything else up, and I'm not getting any parse errors or anything like that. So I think everything's good. I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot to show everybody what the patch I created, what it does. So people can see the end result without having to necessarily apply it. So I'll do that, and then I'm just going to I'll put a little red box around it. The actual text changed, just to highlight what changed on this page. And I'll give it a name, and I'm just going to save this to my desktop because I'll need it later to upload to the actual issue. But at least I've captured what I've done in a screenshot. And now what I need to do is go back and commit this code. It's good. I like what happened. Everything's fixed just the way I want it to be. So now let's go ahead and go through the process of doing a commit. So before I actually pull the trigger and do a commit, let's do a quick git status. Always a good idea before committing. Make sure you know what you're committing. So let's see what's changed. We can see that the path module changed. I can see which files modified. But if I actually want to see exactly what changed, let's do a git diff. And then that basically gives me what a patch file looks like, and it shows me which lines have been changed. So I can see I'm removing the optionally specify to the alternative URL text. So that looks correct. That's the only change that I want to have in this commit. So that's fine. So I can hit Q to quit out of there and go ahead and do my commit. I'm going to do AM so that I am adding the modified stuff and leaving a message. We want to put that issue number directly in there, so it's handy to have it in my branch name. So that's the issue number, and then I need to put a description of what it is, just to sort of describing what this commit is, and then hit enter. And that commits it to my local repository. So I've now committed that change and it's in there. If I do a git log, I can see that's the last commit. So there was code before, and now I've made a change subsequent to that. You can also use git show to actually show you the last commit. And so this shows everything that I did. So everything looks good. That is correct. Those are the changes that I wanted to do. So again, I'll hit Q and get out of there and clear my screen. Now that we've done the commit, we're going to move down to the last part, which is to actually submit a patch. So we need to create an actual patch file and then add that to our issue on Drupal.org. And you can see it's pretty simple. There's just we're basically just going to do a git diff and output that to a file with a .patch ending on it. You can see that the convention for naming the patch file has a description, the issue number, and also the comment number. So I'm going to go back to my issue here and find the last comment number, which is number 3. That means when I leave my comment with my patch, that'll be comment number 4. So I want to know that before I name my patch. So let's go back in here to the command line. Now git diff I want to get a diff of my branch to the 8.x branch so we can find what those differences are, and then output that. So that's what the angle bracket is for. Output that to, and I'll just give it a description. I'm going to paste the issue number, and then my comment number is 4.patch. So that's how we name our patch files, so everybody's clear where that patch actually came from on Drupal.org. And do an ls, and you can see that my patch file is now in my Drupal site, so it's been created successfully. And now we can go back to the actual issue, and I can scroll down here to the post new comment and add my patch and my screenshot along with a comment about what's going on. The first thing I always do when I'm submitting a patch is change the status, because it's a patch that's attached and it needs review now, and if you don't change it, it's easy to forget, and then that's annoying. So I always try and do it first. So I'm leaving a comment just sort of explaining what I've done, and now I'm going to upload first. This is my screenshot. It doesn't matter what order you do it in, obviously, but I uploaded the screenshot, and now I'm going to go into my Sandbox site and grab my patch file and go ahead and attach that one. And that's it. Now I can go ahead and save it. And once it saves and the page reloads, you'll see we're dropped down here to my new comment. It has needs review status, and it has my 2 files that are attached. I can click on the patch file, and read the patch file, just like anybody else's patch on Drupal.org. Once you've uploaded the patch, we have a test bot that will do automated tests on the patches that are in the queue. You can read about that in the instructions. And I just want to show you, in our Sandbox patch it doesn't do it, but here in the real issue, you can see when your patch passes the tests, it shows green. If it didn't, it would show red. So you just need to wait for the test bot to get around to it and test it. It doesn't happen in our Sandbox issue queue, so I wanted to just show you what that would look like. And then the last thing we have here is you could, for bonus steps, you can re-roll the patch. It's essentially the same steps as we've done before. And you just would upload it again, changing the comment number in your patch file name. So creating patches is pretty simple. Once you can identify the problem and you know how to fix it, it's a matter of making sure that you have the right code, that you create your own branch, make your changes, and then submitting your patch to the site.